Hi, everyone, and welcome to Don't Tell Me How to Fan. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is my good pal, John Taylor. John, how we doing?
I'm good, Josh. Both of us had busy weeks. Yours significantly busier than mine.
Well, that's an opinion. Who knows? Yours might have been busy.
I didn't announce any new programming. I didn't spearhead any shows. All I did was turn 37 this week, so nothing too crazy in my world.
That's a big deal.
It's such a one. It's really funny because at the time of this recording, it's not my birthday. At the time of this airing, it's past my birthday. So that's how I feel about turning 37. It just exists. It's just going to be another.
Oh, don't tell me you're at that.
I'm not. I just, Josh, next year when you turn 37, you tell me how you're going to feel about it. There's literally, it's just mid 30s.
How did you feel at 36?
I felt good because I was like coming out of 35 is like a big one. I don't know. It felt bigger. So this was like rounding out. 37 is building to nothing. It's like, if it was, we are at the lowest point and then you start ramping back up what I assume to be the 40s. My wife turned 40 this year. So 37 just truly is just kind of like, I don't know. I'm in my 30s. This is the most I'm in my 30s age I could be, which isn't a bad thing. It just is what it is.
No, I don't like that. We need to be celebrating birthdays more. Maybe it's just, there's so many people on the planet. There's so many things that we have to do as people. You get one day here. You get one day where it's like, this is just the day I want it to be about me. Like, that's it. Your anniversary, you share it. Christmas, you share it.
Well, Josh
is like supposed to be you.
Famously, I share my birthday as a twin, but anyways, I get your point.
Okay.
I get your point. I do get your point.
But still. All right. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, let's get back to your news because
happy pre-birthday and post-birthday.
Thank you. That's a classic pre-post.
Yes. All right. Yes. If you are living under a rock or were not listening at all this week to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, you missed the news that came out about the changes coming to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network morning part of the lineup. There are going to be 2 new shows added and 1 show no longer existing. That would be Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor has essentially, it just didn't work for him. And he is still doing his show. He's just doing it in Green Bay. And so, we wish him all the best. Meanwhile, here in Milwaukee and on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, from 6 to 8 a.m., we're going to be having a little bit of fun. We're going to do a show called the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call, hosted by yours truly. And this is going to be essentially a 2-hour show that 6 o'clock is going to be myself and Aaron Morse, new producer. And then in 7 o'clock hour, I'm kind of turning it into that Around the Horn show from ESPN. You remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have a different, except for it's not going to be all 5 people at one time. It's going to be a different person from the lineup on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network every day joining me in that hour. And then we're going to keep points on how they do. And then we'll ask the listeners, how do you feel they did? And then we'll award a winner on Friday and keep track of who won the most weeks. And, I'm not saying that I'm trying to motivate the other people that have their own shows that are also doing an hour with me every morning, but I don't know. Competition might spark something. And
I think it's fun. It's an interesting take. I mean, lovingly, radio's fairly formulaic. You get some people together. One is super credentialed. One is a fun personality. You get a curmudgeon-y producer, or they're young, or they're both, and you just kind of pardon my language. You just kind of let it rock that way. We're talking about the radio, and I'm breaking FCC rules. My bad.
That's okay. We just do more editing.
Yeah, perfect.
On the pod.
Where's the beep button? But you get my point. You get to play fast and loose on podcasts. You got to try to keep it exciting and entertaining.
The man turns 37 and absolutely lets loose.
Yep.
Oh God, Mark tape. No, so we're gonna do that, and then at 8 o'clock that show will end, and the Steve Zabin show with Josh Albrecht is going to begin. Zabe and I back at it again. Steve Zabin now joining the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. All of the fun bits we used to do and some new ones and everything coming back. And it's really interesting because from the time that I was off the air, John, on that old station that no longer exists, I had a lot of people, a lot of very kind people that came up to me and said, of all the different iterations of shows that Zabe did in his time over there, I just liked it when it was you and him the best. And I thought that was very interesting that now we're getting a second chance. I don't know necessarily that a lot of shows get second chances in this way. So very excited for the opportunity. And we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, that's great, Josh. Congratulations.
All of this starting on Monday, July 6th, which will be 3 days after John Taylor turns 37.
Yep, and that's the full timeline, and we're sticking to it.
That's right. All right.
Who's the first guest? Do you know who's ready? How far planned ahead are we? These at what point are you going to give me the 5 a.m. bat signal, begging me to get on? You know what I'm saying?
I was not. There might be a time where I need you to step in at 7 a.m. and be like, "Yep,
yeah,
7 a.m. Central." So that
it's 5 a.m. my time. Yeah.
You're just doing what you're doing right now.
A really fun peek behind the curtain. We had Jeff Levering on 2 seasons ago, and I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do that interview for the podcast for that to make sense. And it was funny because you were like, "Hey, get in there, ask some questions," and I was like, "Brother, it's 4:30 in the morning." Like, which I know you get up for on a regular basis, but as somebody who I wake up pretty early for work, I'm at work by 7 a.m. my time, so it's 7 a.m. It's not 4:30 is a different animal when you're
sure
because you're not even like you had. I heard you on the super fun once this ever. Show this week with Aaron
one
and
time
Mitch.
Only. Yes,
the one super fun show. Wow, what a show! One time only show.
Yes.
I heard you say that. Yeah, 4:30 is it's all the prep that's annoying. If you could just get up at 5:30 and roll to work, that'd be a different conversation, right?
100%. Can I also just say quickly, and I promise you, we are going to talk about sports. Hang with us, but
come on, it's the 4th of July. We're even ignoring that. Today's the 4th.
Well, and that's a perfect segue into what I was about to say. The amount of people that listened earlier this week to the one time only Super Happy Fun Time show with Josh, Mitch, and Aaron that were like, "Hey, man, you guys didn't talk enough sports. I'll tune back in on Monday." And I was like, you couldn't tell based on the title that I named that show of this one time only Super Happy Fun Time show that we're doing shows to get to Monday.
Yeah.
Like, those were everyone's already getting ready to set off fireworks, and we have fireworks of our own coming on Monday, so we're just getting to Monday. I thought
also having a show end on a Wednesday is probably not. It's not like you're not going to roll out a show probably on that Thursday to much success, and so it's like let's just we just got come on, folks, we just got to get it across the finish line.
That's all we're trying to do.
There's no Packers news. The Bucks made a signing in free agency, and we'll talk about that later. So
the Badgers finally hired a athletic director.
Yeah, but more importantly, they finally put the Culver's patch on those jerseys.
Yeah, well,
that's about the.
I don't know that we were waiting for them to do that though.
I've been waiting my whole life.
Oh
no, I don't know if that's true. I admittedly I didn't go to Madison.
Sean Eichhorst.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said.
Yeah.
Listen, I could not care less who it is. I just needed them to hire someone. So the fact that they hired someone made me go, great. Okay. Now this guy is who we can either say good job or blame for whatever happens next with or without Luke Fickell. Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess, right. That's the first order of business is how long of a leash is Fickell going to get under this guy? And if it's really long, I think that's where I'm going to start having problems with this person.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be.
I mean, the NCAA sports is a tough sell and watch for me, no matter what. I'll be the first one to say it. It's not the greatest body or organization. They're constantly at odds with the actual law when it comes to most things. Kicking and screaming about NIL. It's just it's been challenging for a long time, and they're not in a hurry to try to reform the current system also. So it's just kind of like I don't know. It's until things change. I'm really excited about that Culver's patch. I
was gonna say, does the Culver's patch make you more excited about NCAA sports?
At early July, knowing that the only major sport being played is baseball. Yes.
Very
Once summer league starts on Monday, I'll probably stop caring about it significantly less. So
dang. Listen, I think that there's a lot of people were mad that it was Culver's.
why?
And because I don't know, they thought like Culver's was that big enough? I think Culver's is great for just like the average fan.
Yeah.
What about if Culver's Super gets involved and they start chucking out Butterburgers during games and stuff?
Yeah.
How is that not the best? Like let's think about this. Get some custard in your life.
A better brand of beef makes a Badger baller better.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Drop
yeah.
all Badger talk. Okay. That was literally the most, I think, Badger athletic conversation we've ever talked about on Don't Tell Me How to Fan.
That's not true. We talked about it for a little bit during March Madness.
Yes, that's true. Okay. So maybe the second. Do we dare spend the next 3 minutes talking about soccer?
We could try. Do you think we could successfully kill 180 seconds speaking about soccer? Let's try it.
Okay. USA.
Yeah.
Go USA.
Yeah. At time of recording, they are beating Bosnia 2-0. So that's giving you a timestamp.
That's great. Hey, I didn't even see that they scored another one. So that's great.
I didn't either until you brought it up. So
okay. So that's good. So hopefully we'll win. At least it's reached the point in the World Cup which I start paying attention because they're out of the group pool play, right? Which was always confusing to me because it was like, well, now you need to focus on, not only the wins, but how many goals are scored and blah, blah. This is where it's like elimination, right? Like,
yeah, we're in the round of 32. Things are happening.
Go home.
Yeah.
So this is great. Let's send Bosnia home.
Get Bosnia Herzegovina out of here.
Yeah.
It's near Italy for the record. Yeah.
Antonio Freeman's kid plays soccer.
Yeah, that got me excited for an hour when he scored that goal.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, it's fun and fine.
Isn't soccer bigger where you are out there?
Yeah, I mean, the Timbers are like the largest MLS team, like fan base wise, like one of the better ones. I'm speaking out of pocket. I still know nothing about it. It's just not a sport I've ever really followed. But no, in terms of the MLS, Portland Providence Park is considered like one of the better ones. The women's professional soccer league in the States. There's the Portland Thorns. They're like one of the better teams. So yeah, they definitely. Soccer is a big deal here. The problem is I'm a Midwesterner from Wisconsin who grew up playing and watching football, and that opinion has not changed.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is, I love when our country does well in athletics. Like, I also don't watch hockey. I was sweating bullets during men's, women's, every final for that gold medal when they were going up against Canada. I don't know that I've watched much hockey since. I did watch a little bit of the Stanley Cup final, I suppose. But the point is that it's tough because I love cheering for the USA. I'm not a huge fan of soccer. Both of those things are combined right now. So what I'm going to do instead is talk about the Milwaukee Brewers and baseball, because that I love doing very much. And I know you do too, John. We're going to talk about the Brewers, how they're doing right now, how much we're buying in to when they beat a team in comparison to just, hey, they beat a team. That and a lot more when we come back on Don't Tell Me How to Fan. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Don't Tell Me How to Fan. My name's John Taylor. That's Josh Albrecht. Just figured I'd give him a little break before he leads a full week of his brand new show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Josh, we're talking Brewers. How are we feeling?
Yeah, we are. Oh, this is great. Thanks for that. I feel conflicted about the Brewers, John.
And I got you feeling down.
I'm not down. Not down. It's confusion on how I feel. I want to be enjoying all of the things that exist. I want to be enjoying the fact that the Brewers are in first place in the division. I want to be enjoying the fact that the Brewers they're winning a lot of games. I want to be enjoying the fact that they continue beating up on the Reds. I like that. I can't have that be my sole focus because I also know that they lost to the Braves and the Cubs. And those are two teams that they might end up playing again. Now, I know, and I've heard all the arguments against it, and they're all valid, which is why I'm conflicted. I understand that, hey, we beat the Dodgers last year in every regular season game, and then they swept us. I understand that, hey, just because we lost these games to the Cubs doesn't mean that we're going to lose the next ones and blah, 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 blah. I understand all of that too. I also understand that it's July and not September, all of these things. I think here's the biggest part, John, that has me conflicted. The way that we ended the season last year and knowing what it's going to take to get over that hump doesn't allow me to enjoy just watching a middle of July, early July baseball game the same way that I did last season. Because I want this team to get over that hump. And I'm looking at a team that's having fun and doing good enough. And in my head, I'm going, yeah, but they're still not good enough to beat the Dodgers right now. And I can't get that thought out of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is unfortunately where we're at as Brewers fans in a world where we win the NL Central consistently. We have a back-to-back reigning NL manager of the year. We have a platinum glover in Bryce Trang. We have an emerging Jackson Churia. We have he's front runner and probably will hopefully win the NL Cy Young in Jacob Mizorowski. This is it. We've arrived to being a legitimate contender. And at the end of the day, we are not Goliath in this David and Goliath metaphor, sadly. So I want to come on and part of our fun dynamic is I would never tell you how to fan, but I try to give you some other options to maybe help you feel a little differently. But I don't think I'm going to help you feel any less conflicted. Like, as a fan, it sucks watching your team lose to the other contenders, right? I will say the Braves game, they should have won Saturday, right? They got a little cute, in my opinion. And to the opinion, a lot of baseball pundits, that playing the matchups instead of just like running one of your closers, having Ashby close at ninth. It's been litigated enough this past week, probably, but just meaning that was a game we should have won, right? So you go 2-1 there, you're feeling okay. The Cubs game, the Cubs series, that's one where I feel a little more sting. Like, the offense has gone stone cold. Besides these few outlier games where we're getting, hits and bunches, and against better teams, you want to see your team compete to a level that makes you feel like it'll translate in the postseason. I will say against the Braves, it felt like that. I went away being like, well, that's not great, like, for the standings, but it's so early that I'm really happy with the way they performed. Like, truly, I can live with that. The Cubs series is the one where I go, they kind of invaded AmFam, not on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, I almost called it Wrigley North, which would have really made me feel bad because that's all I've been seeing. They invaded, and so be it. I'm not going to tell people not to sell their tickets to people who are willing to pay like 3x because it's somehow still cheaper than Chicago. Like, I totally understand why that's always going to happen, but that is one of those situations where I just want that place to be stone cold silent if it's going to be nothing but Cubs fans, and we did not deliver that this past weekend. So that's the part that gets me nervous. The starting pitching is absolutely incredible. Like, when you talk about like I'm getting more and more like, I don't even know if it does not even go all in on Tariq Skubal. It's like, I don't even know if they need to add an arm in general. I'm way more interested in possibly bolstering the bullpen, which we've talked about before, but the team is an LCS contender right now. Is it good enough to get over the Dodgers? That's the $1 million question. And I think doesn't
that taint the experience for you? Like, that's my thing. Losing to the Cubs, as you mentioned, 100%, man. It sucks. It sucks with the Cubs fans. It sucks with the hearing cheers when you're at home, when your team is losing. Like, yes, all of those things are terrible. And yet, the number one thing that I was feeling in that moment was, man, if we blew a game to the Cubs here, that's not setting me up to feel confident against the Dodgers. It all goes back to the Dodgers in October. Like everything that happens all season long has me thinking about that series if the Brewers can get to that series. That's wild. You play 162 games, and all I'm thinking about is 4 or more against a team in October.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, but baseball is such a war of attrition over 162 games that you kind of actually do have to learn how to just appreciate just how dominant the Brewers are right now. Like the fact that they're on pace for 100 wins. Like I can compartmentalize. I enjoy these games so much. It is so fun watching this team play baseball. And somehow, some way, I've been able to just ignore what's waiting for us on the other side of September. You know what I mean? And
that.
well, I think the way you have to teach it is it's just in the moment right now. This is like, you just have to, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but for me, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going like, these games are so fun. Nothing's promised. Most teams don't win, the World Series. Some might say all but one, right? So
I know, but it's, and trust me, I'm with you, right? Like, man, like that game that the Miz had, right? Like that pitching performance, we're going to remember that for a decade, more. Like that was an amazing moment. There are still moments from last season that I think about from time to time when I'm, zoning out into the nothingness. I'm thinking about those moments from last season. So I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying them. I almost feel like it'd be easier for me to explain the confliction if that was the case. If I could come on here and say, I'm not having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that. That's not true. I'm enjoying the baseball. It's kind of like when you take a sip of something and you're like, oh, that's really good. And then the aftertaste, you're like, oh, what was that? That's what's happening. I'm sipping in a great Brewers game, a great Brewers moment. And then the aftertaste is, oh, but the Dodgers, crap. I don't know how to kick that. I don't know how to kick it. It's driving me nuts.
Well, I think the way we kick it is you make a meaningful acquisition enough to make it seem like the Brewers are like foundationally, organizationally all in on trying to actually do that. I think that's the only way. I mean, like you're stuck in purgatory as a Brewers fan because that's where this team is sitting in limbo. On paper and the way they're executing, they are a better baseball team than they were last year. Are they a better enough team to beat the Dodgers? I don't know. And so that measuring stick, whether we like it or not, is there. Not to keep quoting the super happy once in a lifetime fun show. But there, you all were having that conversation about like, if you could upgrade the bat, but it's probably not, it's just going to be better than Joey. Should you do it? And somebody was like, no, because if it doesn't get to the Dodgers, and I think the prevailing thought was like, no, it's getting better. Like anything is better. Like we need to be getting better. And I think like as a whole, everything just needs to get better. We need to get a piece
that it's, and so the conversation, the point that I had against that is it's still a risk. If you move on from Joey, who is now getting Joey chance at American Family Field after having a home run to center field. I mean, if he's a bigger part of the clubhouse than we realize, and you move on from him, it's got to be for a reason that is going to keep the rest of the players where their mindsets need to be, on top of the fact that it needs to pan out, right?
Yeah, like, I heard you saying that, and my only counter to you would just be, somebody brought up like Josh Hader, and it's like that trade was 3 years ago. It's like a completely different locker room, and also they traded Josh Hader. You're talking about not having Joey Ortiz be in the starting lineup anymore. He'd like officially moved to like a utility piece. Like, what are we talking about here? The Joey Ortiz chants are because people are just desperate for Joey to actually do anything. Like, it's like the classic, like, do something, poke with a stick meme. Like, that's where Joey Ortiz is at. The fact that he hit a home run, it's awesome, but I don't think anybody is going to be upset. It's going to take all of like one more bases loaded and he grounds out into a double play and ends an inning for people to be like, yeah, oh, that's right, we're good. Like we're small market baseball fans. We want feel good stories. However, it's not like that has any real staying power. I don't think you don't make a move because you're worried about how the team's going to feel that you don't have Joey Ortiz in the lineup anymore. Like, not every player can be the most important piece of the locker room, right? Like, and if it was, then they wouldn't have rolled over so hard against the Dodgers last year. And that sounds more severe than I want it to be, but they didn't drape themselves in glory. So it's like they kind of lost the right to be like, we got to run this back exactly the way it was, because like it wasn't good enough and it wasn't even competitive. So it's just kind of like, I hear you. I just, if they don't make a move, fine. There's no risk. The chance of them beating the Dodgers is not going to be great. It'll be what it's going to be. If they do make a risk and it goes, well, the locker room didn't love it, but it makes them better on paper, it's like, well, great. You've got 50 plus games to start liking whoever they bring in and really figure out how to galvanize. You're telling me none of these guys who've never really sniffed a World Series is going to be that upset if they start finding a guy to win, right? That's like an old classic sports cliche. Winning cures all. Like they're already winning. So if they find somebody in here to change that, then I just don't see how that's gonna matter. And also it's not even just a Joey Ortiz problem. Like this is probably something we should talk about to round out the show in the next segment, but it's like Yelly's not been great, right? Like we've got guys who are hitting way better. Like we're looking for minor league pieces to make this team better. And I don't know if they're going to find, specifically Luis Lara, I don't even know if he's going to find his way to the roster until they expand it, because where is he supposed to go with the team playing the way that they're playing? Like it's not like how do you build the best team on paper? It's how do we make incremental adjustments to get our offense better? And I just don't really know where that happens.
Well, and
without doing
that's why I think the conversation has moved so much to pitching, because when we look at a position player, I think it's more difficult to find exactly what that piece is, right? Like all the conversation has been like Skubal. It's like, okay, right. Or Chapman. Okay. Yep. Got it. So like those two guys got it. But like there isn't a guy that I feel like is being touted that would be like just like this huge, yes, like let's go get this guy. Let's trade some pieces of the farm system away for this guy to play third, to be a bat, to get us that's, the missing puzzle piece that we need. I don't know that it's there. And so it's easier to just analyze pitching and to go, we need bullpen arms. Get some more bullpen guys in there. It's kind of a cop-out, but I get it.
I don't know if it's a cop-out, right? Like most organizations are on record as saying like, you always need to try to acquire relief pitching because you just never know who's going to get hurt. You never know how things are going to trade, the dynamics. One thing I will say is the starting pitching looking great with Woodruff back, 2 really strong quality outings.
Seriously.
Like Sproat was dealing. Drohan, is making a case to keep this a 6-man as long as possible. So as guys get healthy, like the bullpen will bolster itself. I just think Chapman makes the most sense. And that's the trade I would say if the Brewers were going to go all in, that's the one worth making. And they're on record as being interested in that in the past. So bring him in. McGill's been great, but McGill, Ashby, Uribe, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, all of that. It's like that gets really exciting. And that's like, that's where the pitching gets into a spot where the Brewers only have to put up 2 runs. And maybe that's enough to win a baseball game,
Yeah, it's a good point. We're going to talk about that. And if there's any other specific moves or pieces, really, if figuring out if John wants a bat or a bullpen arm more, plus some Bucks news when we come back on Don't Tell Me How to Fan. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Don't Tell Me How to Fan. Josh Albrecht, John Taylor. We are continuing our Bucks talk. In case you missed it and were unaware, we have some changes coming to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network starting on Monday, July 6th. From 6 to 8 a.m. is going to be the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call hosted by yours truly. And then at 8 a.m., it's going to be the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht from 8 to 9 a.m. We hope that you join us starting at 6 and throughout the day on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And we appreciate you watching us on YouTube on Not Done Yet Media. And, of course, listening to this program on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We are continuing our conversation about the Milwaukee Brewers. And John, the conversation, I realized, I don't know maybe if we've had it or not, and I realized we started talking about it there, but the big conversation has been, well, which do you want? An arm or a bat? An arm and a bat. And I feel like because of the current woes, we've been able to focus that a little bit more into, do you want a bullpen arm or a bat? Which do you want more? Which is the focus for you?
I think I mentioned it last segment. I think ultimately my heart and my head both leans bullpen arm, but not just another arm. Like it needs to be a guy who's going to make a meaningful adjustment. And that's like kind of why I keep coming back to like Aroldis Chapman. Like, and I know I literally just said this before the break, but there's been so much smoke around this idea that the Brewers have been interested in him. And I think the type of moves you can make, would Skubal be the sexy trade? Absolutely. Do you really want to get up? Do you really want to give up a Pena, Fisher, guys who are, recently named in the top 100 Baseball America prospect list? Actually, Fisher was left off that, but the Brewers have a ton of guys on that list. So it's like they have the number one farm system. There's a lot of guys coming down the pipeline. I don't know if we want to mortgage our future for a Tariq Skubal for 6 months of baseball. It's not even 6 months. It's like what? I mean, whatever the remaining of months of the baseball season is. I don't know if it's worth it to do that, to be honest, the way the starting pitching is. And I look at the bullpen
about Skubal, like just looking at his last 4 starts since he came back in June, right? Like he has given up 2 runs in 4 2/3 innings, 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs in 6 innings, and 1 run in 6 innings. So besides this last game that he pitched, I don't know. I have a hard time looking at those numbers and then comparing it to the best starting rotation on paper right now in the Milwaukee Brewers and going, okay, so what's Skubal going to be, our 4th?
No, I mean, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah,
I think you're looking at.
I know, but I'm saying, looking at stats, you look at what Ms. Harrison and Woody are doing. They're all going out there and throwing 5 or 6 innings with 0 to 2 earned runs.
Yeah. My only counter to you would be if you looked at like the 5 games of Kyle Harrison, his ERA is like north of like 5 because of that game in Oakland. So, it's I think like Tariq Skubal has shown that he's like, first of all, he's like recovering from that injury. He's shown to be the best pitcher in the AL. So getting him, he'd be the one. He would be the one or the 2. Like he just seniority, all that. Like you'd probably be looking at like, it would go like Skubal, Miz, probably Woody, and then Harrison. I think that would be like the 4. Like, I think that's
like really pissed if they put him before Skubal before Miz.
I just don't know how you couldn't. He's big league ready.
Miz is a Cy Young favorite.
I agree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
And
but
then
you're
messing with his mind. No, Miz stays 1.
I don't know if you're messing with his mind. He went out of the bullpen last year and was perfectly happy doing it.
Don't mess with his mind.
We're just making a lot of assumptions. Anyways, I just don't know if that's the move to make. I just, the more I look at it, I'm like, Woody's back. Like we already outlined all that. Like I think you're talking about like Logan Henderson coming back, who probably could bump somebody. Robert Gasser, who's been pitching more than serviceably. So it's like some of these guys will make their way into the bullpen. I think the problem is that when you look at like this past week, it's like 2 of the big games that were blown were kind of Chad Patrick's fault. And it's like, it goes to show like why they moved him out of the starting rotation. It's because they don't really believe in his stuff all the time. And you kind of heard Murph kind of say as much when he was talking about him post game, even in the relief position. Like he's got to find it. Like I believe in this guy. He said that he's been overproducing. So it's like he's not mincing his words about Chad Patrick. And it's like they're kind of talking about him like a regression candidate. So it's like maybe he finds his way out, but you're like looking at like guys like Grant Anderson. You can't pitch Aaron Ashby in every high leverage relief position. And right now it's like Chad Patrick and it's Chad and Ashby right now, but you just need to get better. I think that's what I'm coming. Like Grant Anderson has not really draped himself in glory. Koenig seems to be cooked. He's made like 2 starts since he's been back. His velocity is not great. So it's just like when we talk about like how do you get this bullpen better, I don't know if it's injecting talent in the middle. And that's why I keep coming back to like if there is a closer on the market that you can get, you should go get that closer, right? Like
Well, also if you have 3 closers, really you're asking for an Ashby to go 1 inning. Like if you have Uribe, McGill, and a Chapman, like that is your 7, 8, 9, right? Or maybe you switch a few off when guys aren't available, but in playoff time, that's your 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So really you're looking for, on the off chance that you can't get your starter to go 6 full, that's the only time you're bringing an Ashby in. Yeah, I don't understand when you'd be bringing Grant Anderson or Joel Kuhnel into the game.
Well, I think I'm willing to bet very good money Joel Kuhnel is DFA'd before the end of the season. He's who they're trotting out when the game's lost or they have no other option. Yes, exactly. He's just the Woodford replacement, and there's no real place for him on this team. The only thing I'll say when you name Koenig and Anderson and Ashby is you're naming lefties, and obviously those lefties are going to have to play. But Aaron Ashby stuff, I mean, you're talking about the league leader in wins right now, and he might be online. Listen, at the time of this recording, Garrett Mitchell just hit a home run while Ashby pitched the previous inning.
Yeah, triple.
Yeah, or triple. Sorry, it's 3-2. He's online for the win right now, so he might have another one by the time this podcast finishes recording. My point being that like these guys matter in matchups, and I think like if we can get even more choosy, some guys are just pitching because straight up Murph has no other option. But I mean, Matt Arnold said like they view getting guys back is just as good as getting acquisitions. And like you start looking at the roster and I'm going like, oh, they might not trade for somebody because you look at like DL Hall, he just became a father again, or for the first time. He's slated to come back. You push Bob Gass back into the bullpen if that works out. Coleman Crow, Logan Henderson. It's like there's a lot of guys who can still come up and pitch meaningful innings for you. And so, we're in this weird pocket where we're watching high leverage games get lost by guys who are probably getting overworked or being asked to perform outside of their role. And I come at it from like Brewers fans want to talk about trade targets. I'm a Brewers fan. I want to talk about trade targets. I think like really it's like, where can you get the most value from? And I think it's probably from a bigger piece coming out of the bullpen. So
I think it's kind of funny that when you look at this, okay, we said bullpen arm or a bat. And when you break it down further, it's bullpen arm, but it's probably just someone coming off of injury, them not trading. And bat, it's for who?
Yeah.
There's not a name. So you look, if there was ever a chance that they do absolutely nothing, I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah.
Because we just right now on Don't Tell Me How to Fan found out 2 reasons why neither of those might be worth making a move.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I don't know if there's a good bat. It's like the only position that you can meaningfully try to acquire a piece to upgrade is third base. And the only reason I say that is because you got guys everywhere else that you're happy with. Mm-hmm. Summer of Sal is part 2 is happening.
His month of June, man, he turned it around.
In June, he slashed 348 with 464 slugging, an OPS of 800, which is like above average. 700 is where you want to be. 8 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 13 RBIs. Like we were talking about this 2 weeks ago. Bring up Lara and put him in because Sal's cooked, and it's like he's not cooked. And can Sal give you the offense you need the way he gave you last year? Definitely not. But if he can meet somewhere in the middle in this Summer of Sal business for longer stretches of time, like do I need him to perform like this all month? No, but I need to see more production. I mean, of course not. But I just mean like in general, we just need more guys finding ways to hitting out of slumps. And it's just been like, it's been so Sisyphean trying to watch the Brewers offense roll that scoring boulder up the hill that I just don't know how you change it. Like, I don't know. I would love your opinion on this. And we kind of saw it on that Wednesday game against the Reds this week. Like Yelly didn't even make his way into the lineup against a lefty. And I think that's the right move. Like Yelly is not performing well. Like, this month of June, he had a 680 OPS. He only had 1 home run. His swing decisions have been absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you're throwing anything away from him, he's reaching for it. It's bad. And there's reasons to believe it might not just be he could be injured. Like some of the metrics are showing like this is what you typically see out of players who might be aging out. And I just think like Jake Bauers is hitting too well to be platooning with Andrew Vaughn. You can't keep trotting out Yelich out there because he's your guy and he's been your guy since 2018. Like at some point, like, yes, we're winning. That's awesome. But we need to be doing more than winning. We need to be stacking success. And those 2 things are not mutually inclusive or exclusive. Like yes. Just because we're winning doesn't mean it looks good. It doesn't feel good to have a series against the Cubs, like what was the runners left in scoring position? It was we were like
the risk was terrible.
Like the risk was disgustingly bad, and traditionally when the Brewers are playing well, they're scoring with 2 outs, like they're one of the better teams. And we just can't get as cold as we've been if we're not going to be a team that hits for power. It can't be both, because then what? Your 3 hits are all going to be singles. Well, that doesn't even really get you close to getting a run.
Correct.
So I don't want to say like, oh, I hope they find a phantom injury for Yelly and he makes his way to like the 15-day IL, but it's like he needs some time off, I think, to get his head right. Like, it reminds me of when they gave like Willie Adames a year off like a few years ago.
Do you think it's mental? You think it's in his head? The reason why I ask is because it's hard to break out of a slump on the bench, right? I think that's why, and I think Murph believes in that. That's why we get frustrated as fans when we see like Blake Perkins in the lineup, and we're like, why? Why is Blake Perkins in the lineup? Well, because otherwise, like, how is he supposed to bust out if he's not having opportunities? So there is definitely a point in which I can see that argument for Yelly. That being said, I'm totally with you in the stance of this team cannot keep playing going, well, we need to give these guys our shot, their shot. No, we need to win. Winning needs to come first. Plain and simple. That's got to be number one.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, we don't see Blake. Jake Bauers has stolen Blake's position in the outfield, right? It's like they'd rather take the hit on defense for a guy who's mashing. And it's like, that's you got to get those.
You got to do both. You got to stop.
You got to, and it's the same reason why exactly. It's the same reason why we're seeing like Gary Sanchez catching more and William Contreras in the DH. Look, we just got to get our bigger bats into the lineup more consistently. And whether you want to play splits or not, like Vaughn is a pure hitter. He might not have the same power, especially as he's like learning how to hit again after that hammer like procedure. It's like really common for guys to lose power. Like, he's just a pure hitter, and you can't keep that guy on the bench when Yelly is making swing decisions. And I'll answer your point directly. Can you get out of a slump out of the bench? No. But can you also stop overthinking things if you're just spiraling? Like, I feel like I'm watching Yelly be like, I'm healthy. This should be going better than it is. And it's just not getting any better. He's got swing yips. And I'm like, just reset. Like, let's just reset. If we're going to need him, there's no doubt in my mind Yelly's going to hit like an incredibly clutch home run in the postseason. So like, why have him lead off? Yeah. Why have him just fighting for his life out there at a period of time where we could be just getting easier swings in the lineup? You know what I mean? And I think like when he comes back, like he should be batting like 5th. Like Churio should be our leadoff guy. The statistically leading 5th is the other position that leads off just as much as like an inning as the first. So it's like, let's get him out of the pressure spot. Let's get him in situations where he can keep the game going. He can manufacture ways on base. He's still his base like speed is still unmatched. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws trying to figure out how do we keep trotting out the same lineup when Joey Ortiz and Sal Frelick aren't your worst of your problems anymore.
I'll tell you exactly how. You keep doing it because they keep winning. And as long as they keep winning, that's the solution. Winning changes everything. Keep winning. The U.S. won. That was great. The Brewers are winning at the time. Hopefully they get things figured out, finalized here tonight at the time of this recording. And they keep winning so that we have more winning to talk about on Don't Tell Me How to Fan. We appreciate everyone tuning in for this episode. Hopefully everyone has a fantastic 4th of July, and we will talk to you next time because we are not done yet.